Hi, beautiful tribe. Sheea here, filming out of Florida, where I am at the moment, and coming to you as a 20-year Tantra relationship counselor and intimacy coach who's very spiritual as a Pisces. Always have been, came in that way, and feel very blessed for the connection I have with spirit that guides me to all the different locations I'm guided to and so forth. And I realize that many of you might feel so busy in your life or overextended that it's like, how am I supposed to fit in a spiritual practice too? But it is going to be key because spirituality is more and more of a reality as we go along. And, one fun, easy way to do it that I recommend is, many of you have heard of like angel cards or tarot cards, I think is what we tend to call them just quickly. But this is a good example, for instance. You get this set of cards. This happens to be a romance one by Doreen Virtue because she's known for putting out a bunch of these. But if you're not like, I love it when I get a good spiritual book and I'm just like enthralled with it. Like the Course in Miracles recently was life changing for me and really fascinating. And especially the way it talks about relationships too. It's like, wow, wasn't expecting that. Um, and then, there's different ways. Meditation is important, prayer. I encourage you just to talk to God. I talk to God in my head all the time. With I'm talking to my guides and angels and invoking them in to help me with certain things all throughout the day. It just becomes this natural habit. And anyway, if you're like, I'm not sure what spiritual practice to do that's going to work for me, and if reading a spiritual book or meditating just seems too far off for you in the moment, if you're willing to invest, a lot of us who are in the spiritual world have like a dozen of these different cards. They have so many different varieties these days. It's super fun. And what you do is you pick a card that you are holding intention with, that you believe you're meant to hear today. And so I'll do that for us. I'll pick a card and see what it has to say, just as an example. And it says romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So that's this card. And so if you were to ask questions about your romantic life, for instance, and you're like, God, what is going to happen with me, in my love life, if you're a single person or something, and you pulled up romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring, then to me, that says to me, oh, I better pay attention when I notice someone that I'm interested in and or have feelings toward. And, you know, it says it's worth exploring. So it sort of gives you these messages of guidance, basically, is how it works. And they're usually so supportive and loving. And, they have ones that are like, that there's an animal on every card, and the animal has a certain message or symbolism about it that's giving you some guidance. And then you can go deeper because it gives you a little book, and we can go and look. Oh, I think I already put it in here. But you go, basically they number them usually, and then you can go and read the little thing it has to say. And it's sort of like doing a little spiritual practice, in a quick, fun, easy way. And so, it's very helpful because I get a lot of messages this way, quick and easy, around certain specific questions I have for the spirit world to guide me on. And it's also a way that I feel loved by the other side, because often the messages are very loving and supportive, like I said. And yeah, it's fun. And of course, there's so many different ways that I express my spirituality. And this is which is just a fun, easy way to do it that I, of course, always have at my disposal. And I, do a little bit of it every day. The Course in Miracles deck is amazing. And I'll mention that a little bit too, because I, finished reading the whole Course in Miracles. And it's definitely not for the beginner. It can be confusing. But I've been doing this a long time, and I've read the Bible multiple times all the way through. So I have a certain ability to read between the lines and get to what it's really saying. Because, a lot of times spirituality is in metaphors and stuff. But I do want to point out that it was fascinating the way it talked about relationships being like it can be an idol. So it was very, very much so warning people, don't make your partner into an idol, like that becomes more important than God or your relationship with God or with spirit or source, however you like to say it. They were saying in that book, it was channeled, and they were saying that so many people, because of the way our culture's designed, especially in America, I think, where we make it into like this, the ultimate thing is to find my partner and live happily ever after. It's just this fairy tale syndrome that I think we have, especially in America. And it was warning against that. It's like it's making it out to be, it's like it's the ultimate. And when you come into partnership, you have to be two fully, like, almost, like sovereign, self-sufficient people that are then coming together and joining and choosing to work together and cooperate and co-create. But if you're going in needy and feeling like you can't stand on your own 2 feet, and that you have to have that partner to make you whole or to make you legit or to make you somehow feel valid or whatever, you're setting yourself up for some failure, because you have to be not coming from a place that's like neediness, because then you're going to be a taker, right? Instead of coming in feeling like, the different areas of my life are in balance. I know how to, function on my own. And I'd love to join with someone where we complement each other and are able to be more effective together than if we were apart. And so I really want to just point that out, I guess, and emphasize that, because I think a lot of time, even men, you guys are even more so rigged that way just because of our culture. Like you're supposed to find something outside of yourself that's going to make you whole, and I think you are a little bit more rigged that way, um in some ways, like when it comes emotionally and relationally. And it's true, it was somewhat designed that way because it is important for you guys in particular to have a woman in your life to bring a certain amount of vision and purpose that seems to be very key. And it's mentioned in many books, including Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about tantric stuff, and he talks about this very principle coming from a man who's a successful businessman. He's recommending men how important it is to have a good woman in your life, and how important it is to also learn how to manage your sexual life force energy. He devotes a whole chapter to that, which is all Tantra. I don't think he uses that word Tantra, but that's, it's all about the seed retention and not just wasting your life force and all that. So, um, and then women have had to learn and really grow through the decades and have come a long way in a pretty short period of time, of becoming more self-sufficient and having to almost become men, really, in a man's society, in order to compete, in order to survive, and to have some rights. And just be able to be strong enough, maybe as a single mother or as a career woman, working in a male dominated world or career or something. Just being fully self sufficient is quite a lot, to take on for a woman, because we're not we don't have all that testosterone to drive us. We're not quite rigged just to be worker bees um, all the time. And so we're having to push a lot, and our adrenals get burnt out easily from this lifestyle. Um, but women have kind of had to, at a necessity, and almost to the point where we've, come quite far, where there almost needs to be a balancing now where the men are able to match us more effectively. Because I think the men are just feeling sort of replaced, or like, where's my place now? What, where do I fit into this? And women just need, I think, support. So I always just recommend men being supportive of your women, so that you can get her attention, because she's so busy trying to hold it all together. um, at least this is what I've witnessed in my 20 years of working with the relationships and couples and so forth. So, men that are helpful and who've learned this know to lend a helping hand and show up, and, you know, make it easier on her so she can show up for him too. Otherwise, she's too busy just trying to survive and make it all work and take care of everybody. And so, self love has definitely been a major theme as well. And so I'll lean into that in my following videos. Thank you for joining me today.